We begin this edition with the latest that we are tracking from Bangladesh, the country that continues to be on the edge. Amid widespread unrest, the country's High Commission has now suspended visa services in 3 Indian cities. The move that essentially comes days after India temporarily suspended its visa application center in Chittagong, Bangladesh's largest city. Now, at the Bangladesh High Commission in New Delhi, a notice has been put which says that consular and visa services have been temporarily suspended due to unavoidable circumstances. In India's northeastern state of Tripura, Bangladesh Assistant High Commission has announced the suspension of visa services following a protest outside the mission. A private operator which offers visa services on behalf of Bangladesh in West Bengal's Siliguri also announced suspension of visa services. Parallelly, tensions continue to simmer on Dhaka streets, where another student leader, Mohammad Mohataleb Sikdar, was shot at by unknown assailants. Now, Sikdar is a leader of the student-led National Citizen Party, who is currently undergoing treatment at a hospital. Shortly after the attack, the interim government assigned gunmen to 20 high-risk individuals, including 6 top leaders of the National Citizen Party. Additionally, editors of the Daily Star and Protham Alo, the 2 prominent media outlets which came under attack recently in wake of the unrest, have also been assigned higher security protection. And amidst the continuing violence, Inkilab Moncho has issued a stern warning to the Muhammad Yunus government, demanding speedy investigation into the murder of its student leader, Sharif Usman Hadi, and a trial before the general elections in February next year. It has even warned that there will be no elections in the country without the completion of the murder trial. In India, specifically New Delhi, members of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and other Hindu organizations protested near the Bangladesh High Commission, and that is over the atrocities against Hindus and the mob lynching of Deepu Chandra Das in Bangladesh. Police resorted to lathi charge to disperse the protesters in wake of the situation that prevails. In fact, as we speak, these are the live visuals on your screens from the national capital, New Delhi, where protests are being carried out by right-wing Hindu groups in wake of the atrocities against the minority community in Bangladesh. And as you can see, the protesters trying to cross over the barricades while the police is trying to curtail those protesters who continue to up their ante over the atrocities, the brutalities that the minorities, specifically the Hindus, who are at the receiving end in wake of the violence in Bangladesh. Note, protests have also been carried out right outside the Bangladesh High Commission in New Delhi as well. But as we speak, these are protests which seem to be spiraling over as there is anger that is clearly mounting over the brutality that the Hindus are being subjected to in Bangladesh. And our assistant editor for Foreign Affairs, Siddhant Sibbal, has also sent us this detailed report on the diplomatic fallout between India and Bangladesh in wake of the prevailing tensions.
I'm standing just outside Delhi's diplomatic enclave, and protesters are protesting against the killing of a Hindu man. Now, essentially, these protesters have been stopped outside the diplomatic enclave by the police authorities, and police authorities present in huge numbers. You can see the protesters protesting against a huge sea of protesters, I would say, in many ways, have gathered to protest against the killing. But the authorities are also present in full force to make sure that there is no untoward incident. We know that there have been protests in Bangladesh itself against the Indian missions. In fact, an attack on the Indian diplomatic post in Chittagong. The authorities, of course, have been able to identify a few people who have been responsible for the attack on the Indian diplomatic post in Chittagong in Bangladesh. But India summoned the Bangladeshi High Commissioner in the past over the concerns that have emerged, and Bangladesh has also summoned the Indian High Commissioner over the concerns that have emerged. Siddhant Sibbal for WION in New Delhi.